Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Muse Jester. We are looking into Hasbro's Hank and Pym and Janet Van Dyne's Giantman and Wasp. This obviously just became a pre-order from Hasbro Pulse. I believe only like a week ago. And it's already here. So that's very good. That's the packaging right there. That's basically what it comes with. There's a classic Giantman and another one over here. I think this is just mostly a recreation of the original one, the one done by Jack Kirby. And then there's another one over there. Let's open them up and see what's going on. Alright, we're back. So they're out of packaging and there they are with the accessories that they come with. Let's start with Hank Pym over here. Hank Pym comes with a soft, good clothing. And out of the box, he comes with his head unmasked. It's a nice effort for the lab coat, but obviously at this scale, it uses, and for this price point, it uses a very kind of cheap fabric. It's not, it's kind of stiff. I suppose if you want to work on it a little bit and customize it, you can put wiring around here and over the collarbone so that you can kind of mess around with it. But it's a good additional accessory. It's a good concept, but I don't think I'll ever gonna use it. In fact, I don't think I'm ever gonna use the Hank Pym on this one once I've finished the review. Obviously, this is meant to accompany the 19-inch or 20-inch Giantman that we're going to be getting soon from the HasLab. So it's a very basic figure, right? There's no sculpted surfaces or detail in this one except for the belt, and the belt obviously is, you can almost call this as an accessory piece because they can cast the whole body as it is and then just plop in that waist belt. Everything's painted, as you can see out of the box, and I suppose that's sufficient. I think I'm gonna have to look at this part of the Giantman to see if that is detail is gonna be accurate to the big one or if it's gonna be a flat one. I don't know. I suppose it is. But looking at this, correct me if I'm wrong, but does that head look slightly too big for this body? I kind of think so. You can, oh my gosh. Okay, so, okay, because of the length inside that peg, you can do this kind of movement on that, right? So that's, I suppose that sort of makes it better. I don't know. But I believe this is the same head that we received from the 5-pack West Coast Avengers set, which I did not get because I pretty much had three-fifths of the figures in there, so there wasn't really any interest for me. The head sculpt is good. I might use that for a different figure because, like I said, I'll never use it. It's got the basic articulation from Marvel Legends. Nice butterfly joint though. Look at that. This thing can pretty much. So from this is just a butterfly joint. Look at that movement. It's quite a lot of range. Obviously goes around. Has a bicep swivel. Double jointed on the elbows. Has a wrist cut and in and out movement. It's got this type of articulation where you can have quite a bit of range for the torso. Has a waist cut. This thing rides up. You can glue it in either to the upper torso or the lower one, I suppose. Oh, I would glue it into the lower one. It doesn't have any dropped joint over here on the crotch area, but you really don't need it. But look at that though. That's quite a bit of limitation on the range going this way. It's not like you're ever gonna use it, but you know that's it's weird that it is limited in that way. The thigh cut obviously goes all the way. I'm okay with the fact that they use the thigh cut as where it ends the color of the briefs. And then double jointed on the knees, and this is what happens when your plastic is kind of gummy. There's Look at that. Because of the stiffness of the lower joint, this is way too much pressure. So that's gonna be heated up. This one is easier to bend. And I'm so having this gummy kind of plastic has certain advantages and disadvantages. Less likely for your plastic to break with these joints. Disadvantage of very, very ugly. Any kind of movement just makes that gap big, but it's never permanent, but it's there. Ankle joint goes up so, goes up, down like so, and obviously has an ankle rotation. And that's basically it. It's basically a basic Marvel figure movement. But like I said, I'm never going to display him with that head, so let's pull out the head with Giantman's face. Very tough to put in. And this one fits with his body. Much better proportioned. Here's detail. Very similar details to the one that we're going to get, so that's really good. And I kind of wish I had access to the 12-inch version, because what I really wanted to do was display this as 6-inch, 12-inch, and then the 20-inch, 24-inch that's coming in. That's what I really want to do. But yeah, so why is this like super big? If you look at the features, it's the same size, nose wise, lips wise, and then it changes in the position of the jaw. The jaw is wider here, narrow on the Ant-Man body, and obviously the hair makes it bigger, and the fact that they trimmed off the ears. But the features themselves are actually of the same size. So that's Giantman. He comes with 2 types of beakers as an accessory. He also comes with 2 somewhat grasping hands. In the figure itself has a closed fist hand, and this one is also grasping some sort of weapon, I suppose. So is this for the beaker? I suppose. Because these are kind of wide. I was kind of wishing that it would be 2 close-fisted hands instead of that. Especially, I don't believe it's necessary to have both of these hands in a similar position, because if it's gonna be holding this one, you can easily use one hand to do so. I would have rather have had 2 fisted hands. Here is the Quinjet. This is very, very blown up, right? So we're not going to be looking at this thing in this size. So you can kind of expect that it's got very vague details and everything. But for its size, I feel like it's pretty good. Enough details and everything. You don't really need to get too much more detail. It's really small. Here's my fingernail. So this is probably slightly over 1 inch. in length, right? Half an inch in height. So I think for what it is, it's pretty good. Now let's take a look at the Wasp. This is the one that I'm more interested in rather than Hank Pym. Well, I mean, I was interested in Giantman because we're getting the HasLab, but this one out of the two, I feel is more striking. Now, she comes with this classic look for her. I'm not sure. I believe this is her first costume appearance. Um, but it's very simple. However, compared to Giant Man, where she has all these sculpted detail, even this one is a sculpt. The belt is sculpt. It's not floating. This is painted on, but even so, compared to Giant Man, she is much more. She is where the money went. Okay, but I like it. I really, really do like it. Look at the proportions she's got. I feel that this figure is well done. But what really makes this figure striking is her face. The paint application, this is blown up. This is blown up on your monitor right now, and it really stands really well. Now look at this when it's an inch high, this face, and it's just beautiful. She kind of reminds me of Kate Blanchett, like right there. But only when she's got only in this portrait. The other one, this one, yeah, I still kind of see it. It's like something about her cheekbone. Um, Maybe the eyes. She just reminds me of Kate Blanchett, which is not a bad thing, honestly. It's just like maybe a younger one, younger from when she appeared from Lord of the Rings, and that basically adds more character to this figure for me. So really nice work on the hair as well. All right, really, really nice work. I think there's some sort of shadowing going on with the lips too, so it's not just a simple bright red or dark red lip color. Really, really nice work. So with these two head sculpts, I'm really quite torn. They're both beautiful head sculpts. They're both beautiful portraits. But this one, the one with the helmet, just completes this look. You know, I'm gonna have to find a body for her to use. So let's look at her accessories. She comes with these outstretched hands for accessories. And this is the first time I've seen this type of wing construction where not only does it spread, but it's sort of the lower wing over here is sort of plugged into the top wing, so you can remove it if you want to and just pose her with just the one wing, or you can combine the both. Now this isn't really an accessory because it's still part of the figure. It's an easy plug-in too. All right, so I chose to plug it in this way so that the lower wing is in the inner wing, and then the top wing is the outer. I think that makes it better. So yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that. I don't know if any more of our Marvel Legends female figures have same one. I think it does, but that's just the first time I've seen that, so that's kind of cool. Let's look at the articulation on the head. Goes up that much, goes down that much. This, oh, look at that. This one goes up and down, turns off to the side. She has a nice tilt to her head. Going up, she can still do that, but obviously won't go all the way straight up because of the shoulder design. But you can still manage to rotate this arm. She does have a bicep cut, double jointed on the elbows. in and out on the wrists, rotation on the wrist. Be very careful when you're moving the wrist because it's thin plastic, but it's that type of gummy plastic as well, so more forgiving. The wings basically goes in and out on a hinge, like so, and then because of that peg, you can move it up and down, and this one also goes up and down as well. So if you want to display her with just the one wing, you can definitely do so. The torso is not just a horizontal cut, it's actually got a kind of like semicircle cut, so you can have a little bit of movement on her waist. I'm kind of glad that they went with that kind of an articulation, so this is maintained, it's not cut or anything. And then of course, because of the skirt, you can't really pose her leg, but look at that, her leg actually goes much more higher, or about the same height as Hank Pym's, and he's not obstructed and she is, and yet, I don't know why that leg wasn't doing that. And because of the design of her waist skirt, she can still get her leg up that high. She's got a thigh cut, so that's all good. She's got double jointed on the knees. That's good. This is just painted on, so there's no boot cut. The ankles can go that high and can go down that low. And of course, she's got the, ooh, there you go, ankle rotation. Also, maybe she could have used, she could have probably come with a flight stand. And this is what, $54 or $49? So that's basically 25 for each figure, which is what the regular price of Marvel Legends right now. And I feel like it's coming, and I forgot this one, by the way. I feel like it's coming with a lot of accessories. Okay, not a lot of accessories, but sufficient accessories that basically completes the figure, with having alternate heads, the beaker, the lab coat for Giantman. I don't really think that you need anything else except for one thing. One more accessory would have made this one perfect, like a miniature Wasp. I believe it came with another. There was a miniature Wasp that came with another Wasp figure, but I'm not sure. I like maybe not even like an inch high, kind of like maybe 2 inches high, just to show off the fact that she shrinks. But I suppose I can pose her with the Giantman HasLab to make it seem as if she shrunk. But you know how it is. I don't think. I feel like a smaller Wasp is better. But anyway, I feel like this is a good attempt from Hasbro. I feel like this is a successful pairing. Not only do they complement each other, but the price is good, the value is good because the accessories that come with it's almost exactly perfect. It complements the Hasbro Pulse exclusive that we're getting, the 24-inch Giantman. So I would say, Hasbro, keep doing what you're doing with this 2-pack. Increase the number of accessories, maintain the $25 price range. I'm I'm an old school comic book collector, so the retro look of these characters are kind of what I want. And then you can branch off to their newer design if you want to, but I do want the retro classic look of the 1980s, mid 1980s, or lower or earlier than that, because I do want to collect my classic Avengers. So that's it for my review of the Giant Man and Wasp 2-pack from Hasbro. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you on the next set of figures. Goodbye.